Okay, so now we're finishing up chapter 1 of the discipleship book, and we began talking about discipline, and it beginning with the presentation of our very heart, our mind, the imagination. And I'm not the first one to teach this. I've heard others teach this about how your imagination is a holy place. It's an organ in the body. It's a part of your physiological construction to have a place where our Father in heaven can meet you, where the Holy Spirit can dwell, where you can receive visions. It's not, your imagination is not a place to devise wicked schemes against your neighbor, to devise weapons of mass destruction, bad movies or bad jokes or any other kind of wickedness. It's a place where Father can show you things, like He can give you you could imagine something that'd be useful for humanity, like, you can invent something, or He could give you something about your future. He could meet you in many different ways. But to present yourself a clean vessel, to be a holy temple of the Spirit of the Most High to dwell in, we have to shun evil, and we have to welcome Him, recognize, and we have to love that which is good. It's like, how can two walk together except they agree? There has to be an acceptance and love of His ways, to know His ways, seek His ways, to love Him, and welcome Him to dwell. And then we become temples of the Most High. And so during this, also in the end of this lesson, we also talked about tithes and offerings. And there was a question about tithes, and I want to sum up about tithes in this one thing. Tithes is something of a personal covenant with the Most High. There are some that would say, well, tithing was to support the Levitical priesthood. But with the new covenant, we were raised up to be a kingdom of priests and kings, and that the sons and daughters would prophesy. The Holy Spirit will use whosoever, and there are some daughters that are chosen to be mothers. There's some mothers that are chosen to raise up the children of God. So yes, I'm saying is that women can be pastors, and men can be apostles, prophets, and pastors, and bishops, and women can be apostles and prophets. But the support of the work of the Most High requires finance, because if without support, there's no good work can continue. People working on part-time don't accomplish much on their part-time. If you have to work 80 hours a week, 40 hours a week, and you have a day of rest, you don't accomplish much else. And so to have full-time employment to minister, then it's required some kind of support. And so in the Didache, they talk about the support for those who are prophets that could prophesy, pastor the church and all that. But I want to underscore this one thing. It's very personal. It's a free will offering. It's something that between you and your Father. So, and if you're going to offer your tithes to your King, it should be where He says it should go. You should offer to Him and hear from Him where He desires you to put it. Anyway, that's enough. I don't like to talk much about money. So, because it sounds bad. It sounds like you're asking for money. Well, God forbid I ask for money. So, without any further ado, this is our friend Chen Piso. And he has something on his heart concerning being born again, being the transformation process.
Thank you. This time around you said my name right. Well, yes, the Bible teaches us that you who love the Lord hate evil. So now that you have given yourself over to the Lord, you gotta present your body as a living sacrifice. You gotta disconnect yourself from the world. You cannot love the Lord and still be conformed to the things of this world. Because if you do that, you are like that seed that fell on thorns and was choked. You will be choked. So the best way possible is to cleanse your hands, cleanse your heart, cleanse yourself. Be holy as he is holy. Don't be covetous. The commandments also taught us that we must not be greedy. And the book of Colossians compares greed to idolatry. So your love for money, your love for the lust of the flesh has to be put to death. You have to compromise, you have to sacrifice, and you have to self-control so that you can reach the level which the Lord has called you into. He called you into cleanliness, not uncleanness. He called you into holiness, not unholiness. He called you to do good, not evil. So whenever you are still operating in the same way you've been operating, the prince of the power of the air, which was blinding you before, will get you again. And that's not good. So we have to discipline ourselves. We have to cleanse ourselves. We walk in a manner that is right for our calling. And yeah, that is my thoughts.
Wonderful. Well, that was very good. And I'm going to leave us alone. I think we've said enough. It's a brief presentation, wrapping up what we studied in chapter 1. And next week we're going to begin chapter 2. See you there.